You've landed in the right spot. This is the Business Brainstorm Workshop, and it will start in just a minute. But while I have your attention, I just want to make you aware of a couple things really quick. This workshop is actually one of the lessons that's taught inside of the Start Here course in my free community, W2 Prison Break Nation. So if you want to join the community and get this training and a bunch of other ones and all of the prompts that will help you define the best business for you, you can simply just click the join now button below and you can go right to the group, get signed up, and you can watch this training. If you don't want to do that, totally fine. Watch the training all the way through, and then you'll have an opportunity to book a free 30-minute call with me to discuss whatever you want. Mainly, we want to talk about your business ideas, what your challenges are, but whatever you want. So both of those will be 100% free, the group or the call. All right, just wanted to make you aware of that in case you just wanted to skip right to the really, really good stuff. Without further ado, let's start the training. Welcome to the Business Brainstorm Workshop. This is going to be exciting. We are going to do some really, really good work today and finally get over the number one block that has been holding you back from starting your own business. And that is, what business do I start? I don't know what business to start. That is the goal of this workshop. And by the end of it, you're going to have some awesome ideas, if not the idea for your business. So let's strap in, let's get to work, and let's get right to the presentation. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here so that it is full screen here. So let me do a little maintenance here while we're going into the workshop. Here we are, Business Brainstorm Workshop. Here's what we're going to cover today. Where you might be right now with your business or just in your job in general. Maybe you don't have a business just yet. You're going to learn what you can accomplish. How I got started. We covered a little bit about me in the welcome video inside of the Start Here course. We're going to expand on that a little bit more. Why do I do this? And then most importantly, the reason that you're here, how do I choose the best online business? How do you choose the best online business for you? Before we go any further, I just want you to not continue until you are settled in, get into an environment where there's no distractions, be in a quiet place, put a sign on your door. You can pause the video if you need to do that. Just don't allow distractions. Silence your phone. This is important work, and I want you to spend the time with me and make sure that you are just not distracted. So handle that, pause the video if you need to, and then come back, and then we'll get right into the good stuff here. Before we begin, I created this workshop because I was once where you are right now, and I know how helpless it can feel to be stuck. Everything that I'm going over in this workshop, in these courses, in these videos, like I've gone through them myself, so I know what it's like to be where you are right now. My intention is that you take this knowledge and you start taking action. This is your step number one, and action is going to be your best friend if you learn how to get out of your own way and take it. My hope is that you will realize that you are just as capable, worthy, and deserving of your ideal outcome as anyone on this planet. One of my favorite quotes by Hal Elrod from The Miracle Morning. Awesome stuff. Just know that I'm in your corner always. You have at least one person who believes in you. That's me. A lot of you don't feel like anybody believes in you, or you don't believe in yourself. Well, I'm that person. So at least you have one person. Let's talk about where you might be right now in your life. This workshop is for you if you've been in the corporate world for at least 5 years. You're making good money and the path to climb the corporate ladder has been presented to you, but you realize that you will have to work longer and harder hours without the relevant financial reward. And you're starting to see that your income will be limited. All right. I went through this exact phase, guys. You've been in the corporate world for at least 10 plus years. You're making over 6 figures and you've climbed the corporate ladder. You've got a great family, the big house, the nice cars, all the stuff. but you don't get to enjoy your family like you want to because you're always working, even on vacation. You're feeling burned out and realize that there's more for you. That was me. I worked on vacation. You've always wanted to start a business, but you feel stuck. You're trapped in a literal prison. You are completely burned out working your job. You feel undervalued and underpaid, and you know you want out. And you've been actively looking at different side hustles to start: real estate, trading stocks, buying franchises, buying an existing business, and you've even tried a few, but you're not having any success. And as a result, you keep staying stuck in your job, sticking with what you know. You've likely repeated this cycle for years, and you're at the breaking point. You desperately need a solution because you don't want to miss your kids grow up. That was me. That was the point that I was at. No matter who you are, as long as you fall into one of those three buckets, this workshop will show you exactly what you need to do to pick a profitable online business without wasting any more of your time and money. This is what happens when we do this type of repetitive work on side hustles and we don't get any results. We get scared of losing our time, right? We don't want to waste our time. And most importantly, not having to miss your kids grow up. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge what you think is possible to achieve in your life and your business. I'm going to raise your standards on what is acceptable to achieve in your life and business. I want you to think bigger. I want you to believe in yourself more. And I want you to understand that you're capable. I'm going to challenge the way you've looked at business in the past. Instead of saying that business is risky, we're going to look at it as the opportunity. The risk is not doing it. And we're going to talk about this a lot in this community and in this course. And then I'm going to let you take a sneak peek behind the curtain and see how it's possible that we have multiple clients who have launched online businesses without having to learn a brand new skill while working a full-time job and balancing family life. Here's what you can achieve. We all look at this. We're trying to balance our time, financial freedom. We want that. And we're trying to balance it all, right? Our family life, work-life harmony is thrown out there a lot. This is what you can accomplish. Like if you stick with it and you follow the steps and you go all in. What this is not, I just want to be clear on this. This is not a get rich overnight situation. If that's what you want, then hit the stop button and go somewhere else because you are not going to get that here. This takes time. This is hard. Working 2 hours per day, right? That's not going to get it done. We need to put in more effort, more time and effort. And I'm going to give you your time back. I'm going to show you how you can get more hours per day because likely you're wasting time. We're bad at time management. We're going to fix that. This is not a place for excuses. We do not tolerate that here. We're very protective of that. Excuses don't help anybody, especially you. And this is not a place for the land of victimhood. We are not the victim. We own our stuff. Let's take a look at a couple of clients here, all right? We're going to talk about Joe, or as we call him, OG Joe. He's one of the founding members of W2 Prison Break Nation. Works a full-time as a project manager, is making multiple six figures a year. He's got a busy family. He wrote a book 15 years ago that he launched in March of 2024. It was collecting dust for 15 years. And we worked together and he said, hey, I got this book. And I said, hey, publish the thing. You never know what's going to happen until you publish it. You wrote it for a reason. People need to hear it. You went through a transformation. You kicked the addiction. Other people need to hear your story. Well, he launched the thing. It took him probably about 3 months to do it. The guy did a great job. And when he released it, it was #1 on the new release list under the gambling category. And he grabbed his first coaching client. Pretty awesome stuff. Here's some nice words that he said about the group and me. There you can see he was #1 beyond the bet. gambling for new releases. Really awesome stuff. He started a TikTok page. He had never done videos before. He was having fun with it. This is a while back, but he's just a great guy. You'll see him in the group. And I mean, just he had something that he had already done, and he launched it and he did it. And he was fearful. Had all these fears, all these doubts, and he pushed through it. He was also on the podcast. You can check that episode out as well. I'll leave that in the show notes. And the guy wrote a book. So if that's something you want to do and you're in this group and you want to know, reach out to Joe. He'll help you. Morris is the best, man. I love this guy. He's been around. I've known him for quite some time. He works in financial services for a nonprofit, also making a 6-figure income, busy family life. He launched his own bookkeeping business and grabbed his first paid client in under 2 weeks. He was already doing that, right? 2 weeks, he gets his first client, 3 total clients in under 2 months. I think he's at 5 right now. Some more nice words that Morris said. He's tried a lot of different side hustles, real estate. He had his own businesses. He's been an entrepreneur for 20 years, but his bookkeeping business was the thing that he was able to realize, like, hey, I already know how to do this, right? And he launched it straight away. And there he is on the podcast, turning your 9-to-5 skills into a profit. You'll be able to listen to those episodes. And again, Morris is one of our founding members. Let's talk about Ryan here. Ryan Sturgeon, also full-time sales job, making multiple 6 figures, has a busy family, has a granddaughter actually as well. And he runs a real estate business. He realized that his brokering business, where he helps buy and sell businesses, was his passion, right? He had some experience with that before. And he launched his brokerage business back in March of 2024. And he's grabbing clients and he's building that thing and he's got listings. And again, he already knew how to do it. Now he just has to go do it for himself. Another testimonial from Ryan. This guy's a great guy. I work with him one-to-one. He's made so much progress, tremendous progress over the time that I've known him. He was also on the show as well. He's been on it twice. Him and Morris were actually on the same episode, so you can check that out as well. That's actually going to be in one of the lessons in the Roadmap 2.0 course coming up, so you'll get to see that as well. Let's talk about Michael. Michael is brand new to W2 Prison Break Nation. Well, not brand new, a few months. He works a full-time inside sales job, also a busy family life, and he has a special needs child as well. He's passionate about soccer, 20-year playing referee career. So he knows a lot about soccer and he loves the sport. Well, we decided together that he was going to launch a school community. Hey, you're in a school community, the Referee Circle, October of 2024, just 7 weeks after joining the group, he launched it. First member in the door. He posting this in the Wins channel. He's got way more than one member now, but he's doing organic outreach on Instagram. Here's his Instagram channel. He's got 100 followers already. He started at 0. By the time you watch this thing, he'll be way more than 100. He's got a video right now as I'm recording this that's over 120,000 views, and he's getting people to sign up for his community by posting these organic posts on Instagram. It's really, really been cool to watch. And he did it. He just took the lessons and he took the action items and he went out and did it. So much can happen when you put your head down, you commit and you focus and you just do the work. And that's exactly what happened to Michael. It can happen to you as well. My journey. Why was I stuck? You saw a little bit in the previous video. You learned a little about me and what I was doing, but why was I stuck? Well, I simply came from the old way of thinking, right? I had to go to school, get a job, stay with that company for life, and max out my 401k. That was my download. That's what I was taught. I was absolutely terrible at time management. I had no intention with my time. I didn't value it. I didn't know how to manage it. I was just living in reactive mode. I was hanging around with the wrong people. I had no growth friends. Everybody that I hung out with wanted to stay in their jobs, right? They wanted to do the least amount of work as possible and make the most amount of money. And that was something that I was starting to fall into as well. I was coasting, complacent, comfortable, and I didn't really have a group of people that wanted to improve their lives, right? personal life, their personal development, and then their business development. It was just kind of like, hey, we're just doing the same thing for years and years and years. And also, I had a huge ego. Like I thought I knew it all. I didn't need any help. And that really held me back for a very long time. And then I created a lifestyle that my high paying job just needed to support. So that trapped me. Like I started acquiring all this stuff that I didn't really need, keeping up with the Joneses. You hear all that stuff, right? It's true. So I said, okay, well, if I start a business, there's no way I'm going to be able to replace my salary to pay for all this stuff that I have, which was just me blocking myself even further. Not true. You can do it. And you're going to see here in a bit. When I looked at other people who were successful, making twice or three or four times as much as me, I just didn't make any sense to me. I kept saying to myself, like, how are they doing it? I'm just as smart as they are. Maybe you've said that to yourself. And I was as smart as they were. This led to even more anger, more stress. I just simply was not confident in myself at all. It's like, I must be missing something. Like, what am I not doing right? And then I couldn't finish anything that I started. Like I dabbled in 5 different side hustles at the same time, and I got absolutely nowhere, right? And how can I expect to? You can't focus on that many things at the same time. And I know that some of you have done this or are doing this or think that this is the path. Like you got to just have your toe dipped in so many different pools, right? That's not the way to get ahead. This is what my journey looked like. Like this is my brain here. And this is already hurting me just looking at this, right? Like I would look at a side hustle. I would maybe take a course or sign up for their program for a little bit. I would do 1 to 3 steps of that program and that side hustle. I would give up when I didn't see results right away. Living in constant stress, wash, rinse, repeat. I mean, this was my life for 10 to 15 years. Just complete madness. Like this is the inside of my brain here. And maybe this resonates with you. Why was I stuck? Again, going back to this feeling of being stuck. It's simply because I wasn't focused. I couldn't decide what business to start. That was the biggest problem I had. I couldn't decide what to stick with. This vicious cycle continued for, again, I said 10 to 15 years. My wife even called me out on it. Like every time I went to her and said, I'm going to do this thing now, she would be like, is this going to be the next Brian thing? Which basically said, is this going to be the next thing you don't finish or you give up on? Now, disclaimer, I love my wife. She's an awesome lady, but that was absolutely crushing to hear that. And I'm so glad she said it to me. I really am so glad she said it to me, calling me out. I did the math, right? If I continue down this path, traveling 100,000 miles a year, cycling through all these side hustles, I was going to miss half my kid's life, my son's life. And that simply was just unacceptable to me. I couldn't get out of my own way. Knowing all this, I still couldn't get out of my own way. What was I missing? I needed a clear plan to finally start a business and get out of the life that I dreaded. A system I could implement to produce the result that I just couldn't get on my own, like trying it all by myself. I needed that. This was my path. I'm going to show you exactly what I did to get out of my life. I decided on one business. I hired a coach to teach me that business. I followed the system to a T. I did not skip any steps. Stay the course. I didn't give up. I kept doing it. I stayed the course, realistic timeline. Very simple. Guys, I'm going to stay on this slide for a couple of seconds here. Very simple. Decide on one business, right? Get somebody to help me. Get in the right room. Follow the system. Stay the course. Don't give up. By making these changes, I was able to launch a successful real estate business and quit my corporate job in just 9 months after trying for 10 to 15 years. And in 18 months, I went from $20,000 per month as a W-2 employee to $50,000 per month as a business owner. I never thought that I would get there, that would be possible. Not even close. And it happened in a short amount of time. 18 months is not a long time when you really, really think about it. I finally did it, right? I finally left my job. I hit my goal. I was off those damn airplanes. I was making more money. Like, it was just great, great feeling, but I still wasn't satisfied. Real estate wasn't something I enjoyed. It was a means to an end. And I'm not going to talk a ton about why I decided to get out of the real estate business, but it just wasn't something that I enjoyed. I had created another job with my real estate business. So I had recreated the situation that I was in my W-2 job in my real estate business. And a lot of the times we do that. We do that in relationships. We do that in businesses where we just recreate another situation, right? Even though I was making more money, I wasn't fulfilled and I wanted more. I realized what I was really good at. It took me a long time to realize this, and it was sales. I'd been in sales my whole life and coaching. I had the opportunity to coach people when I was in the real estate mastermind, and I had really been coaching people all my life because I was just that type of a person. I was just always helping people, right? People would come to me with their problems. Like, it was just something that I had discovered my entire life. It was just something that I was good at. I was approachable, I guess. I took all the lessons I learned over the last 30 years and I finally figured out what I had been missing all along. The easiest way to start and scale a business is to monetize what you already know how to do. Let me read that again for you. The easiest way to start and scale a business is to monetize what you already know how to do. You cut the learning curve down tremendously when you take your existing skill set and your knowledge and you go to market and you find customers and you find problems to solve versus learning a brand new skill like real estate or YouTube automation or franchising or whatever it is. Like, now you just have to learn how to become a business owner so you can get to market much faster when you sell, monetize what you already know how to do. Now, I want you to get ready to learn how you can do it too. But first, why do I do this? The more that I shared my story, the more people were inspired to take action. And that inspired me. Like, I shared the story about my son. I shared my journey in real estate, and people just were resonated with that. So that continued to inspire me to do more. I believe that I went through what I went through so that others don't have to. I truly do believe that. Like, I went through this long 10 to 15 year path and going through starting a real estate business, tearing it all down, starting a coaching business, so that you guys don't have to do that. So I can share my shortcuts with you so you don't have to go through what I went through. I found what I love doing, and it's a gift to teach others. I'm leaving a great example for my son and my wife. Like, my son's paying attention. Guys, your kids are watching you, man. I'm telling you. They're paying attention. We talk about business. He mentions stuff about business. Like, he sees my work ethic. My wife started her own business. She left her job too and started her own photography business, and said, hey, what you did really inspired me. Such a great, tremendous feeling. And a lot of you that are watching this workshop, you have desire to teach people. A lot of people that I talk to, like, they want to coach, right? They want to educate. They want to help others. You have that ability to do that. And we're going to get that out of you one way or another, whether it's in this workshop or in this community. And I'm building a great community of supportive people who want better lives, right? Like, this is what I talk about. I told you back on one of the previous slides, like, I needed to get around people who wanted to be supportive of me, and they wanted support from me, right? Like-minded people. Like, you got to get around the right folks to push you forward. The freedom to spend my days as I wish and never feel obligated. It's such a great feeling to not have to ask for permission to go on vacation, right? To ask for, can I take a day off, please? Can I go do this? It's just, I can pick up and do whatever I want to do. Like, that's the goal. Look, guys, I just want to, you're going to hear me say this a lot, and I don't sugarcoat anything. This is hard. Business is hard. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be here watching this, right? With the right strategy, it can be one of the most rewarding decisions you'll ever make in your life. We're only here for a little bit. Let's make it count. Stop waiting. Start taking action. Quit waiting for stuff to happen to you. Here's what I discovered. Your life is the result of the choices you have made. It's a tough one, but it's the truth. I'm here because of me. I'm here because of me, not anybody else. It's me. Did other people play a role? Small role? Yes. But ultimately, When the smoke clears, it's me, right? Do you accept this as true? This is something I'm going to challenge you on in other lessons too. So we want to make sure that we're getting in the right frame of mind that, like, again, we don't play the victim role. We don't make excuses. We own our life. Do you find this to be scary or empowering, right? I found it to be empowering because when you realize that you're the problem, you're the constant, like in all those side hustles, it wasn't the side hustles that didn't work. They all work. Real estate, franchising, blogging, that stuff works. It was me that did not work, right? I was the constant in all of those situations. I'm the problem. So when I realized that, like, hey, yeah, I've done all these side hustles. It's me. It is me. And I'm the solution now. It's one of the most empowering days of your life when you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I've got to fix me first before I go out and start lighting it up in business. And that's exactly what I did. I fixed me first, or I worked on me first, and then I was ready. I was ready when I walked into that real estate mastermind, and I lit it up because I was ready. And because I had come to the clarity is so key, that I was the problem and that I was the one to solve it. And I want that for you. You are the solution. Now let's get to work. What business do I start? It's a tough one, right? You've thought about it. We're going to assess our skills. I told you, we're going to look at what your skill set is. That's the first step, is to look at what you already know how to do. And you all know how to do something. You all do. You all have something to teach me. Everybody who's watching this video right now, this presentation, this workshop, you have something to teach me. You know something that I don't, and vice versa. And you can take that to every single person that you meet in your life. And I want you to start believing that. I want you to think about what people ask you for help with in your job and in your personal life repeatedly. Like, do people ask you for help with certain things? Like, hey, you're really good at that in your job and in your personal life. Can you help me with that? And I want you to look at that as a signal that people are telling you that you're good at something and they need your help. And if you did not help them, they would either ask the next person or find somebody to pay. So those are potential businesses when people are asking you to do something. It can be the littlest thing that you could potentially turn into a business. So I want you to take that time and brainstorm that and think really hard about what is the stuff that people are coming to over and over again. It only has to happen like 3 times. And they're telling you you're good at it, right? Repetitive stuff, business and in your job and in your personal life. Now I want you to shift the way that you think about your current 9-to-5 job, right? Guys, your employer is a paying customer. Your employer is a paying customer. They are a client of yours, okay? They have hired you. You are solving a problem for them. The next time you look at your paycheck, I want you to understand this very simple concept. This is what someone thinks you're worth. If you're making $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month, someone has said, your employer has said, this is what we think you're worth. This is the value that we place on you, on your abilities, your skills, whatever problem it is that you're solving to help this company. And you're usually working with the clients for the company directly, not the bosses. You are. And they're telling you, hey, this is what you're worth. We think you're worth $100,000 a year. And also, they picked you. When you applied for your job, likely you were not the only one. So they had choices. So a lot of you will come in here and you'll say, who am I? Who am I to charge somebody? Who am I to, I'm not good enough. I don't have the skills. Yes, you do. Look at your paycheck. Someone said, not only did we pick you for the job, we're paying you this amount of money. So, and if you get promoted, it's the same thing. They had other options. They picked you. They picked you and they're paying you. So go out and get 5 more customers. Do you think you could do that? Do you think it would be reasonable to think that you could go out and get another paying customer doing the same job that you're doing? I want you to really think about that. All right, now we're going to use ChatGPT to help us. And in the first welcome video, I told you that we're going to be using this a lot, right? And this is really, really important to have a paid ChatGPT version. You can start with the free one, but I'm telling you, when you use this, you're going to use it every single day. This is a brainstorm exercise, all right? We're not plagiarizing. They're not doing it for us. We're going to follow these prompts in the exact order that I give them to you. They're also going to be downloaded, so you're going to be able to do this on your own. But I'm going to walk through this whole thing with you right now so that you can see the power of ChatGPT and how this can help take the information that you feed it and turn it into a great brainstorm exercise. Do the work. It's going to take you about 15, 20 minutes. Do not skip this. Seriously, don't skip this. It's time for you to shift the way that you view work. Okay? This is important work. Don't skip it. Like I said that 5 times already. All right, let's go. So I'm going to head over to ChatGPT here. Now, these are the prompts. I'm going to make this bigger, make all of this larger here. All right. So you're going to see the discovering your online business ideas, and I want you to use these prompts in the exact order that I give them to you, okay? And they're highlighted here in, so just take this document and copy and paste it into ChatGPT. So we're going to do like a split screen situation here. So we can do this side by side, and then you can see this. All right, so I've got ChatGPT open. I've got the business blueprint or the online business prompts here. I'll move this over a little bit more. All right, and then we're going to go over to ChatGPT. So, all right, guys, so I've pre-done this exercise, right? And I'm going to walk you through exactly how I do it so that you can do the same exercise. So I've got a split screen here, but this is already done. These questions are already completed. But the first thing I'm going to do is just simply copy and paste the first prompt right here based on my current job as whatever your job title is. What skills do I have that are transferable to an online business, right? Ask me as many questions as you need to in order for you to help me complete this task, right? Here it is. So, and I kind of did it twice here, but I've combined it now to answer all the questions. So you put this prompt in, and then it's going to ask you the questions, and you go in and answer it. Now, the best way to do it is just to simply copy and paste this here, and put it into a Google document. I'm just going to go File, New, Google document. All right, and then you can just simply copy and paste it in here and then answer all the questions. So what I did was I answered all of these questions. I put it in the Google document. I pasted it right here, and then it came up with the ideas for my transferable skills, what I was good at. So it lists them out. And then you would simply take this and copy and paste it and put it into put it into your Google Doc right here, right? So that you kind of have a running list and you can refer back to this. Like, don't just leave it in ChatGPT. Then the next prompt. After I do that, considering my role as a sales manager, okay, or it's a little bit different. So these prompts are a little bit different. I pre-did this, but it's the same thing. What aspects of my job could inspire an online business idea? No, I'm sorry, right here, this one. It's the same one. Sorry, I was in the wrong spot. And I'm leaving that in. I'm not cutting that out because we let go of perfectionism here, right? I don't do everything perfectly. Considering my role as a sales manager, what aspects could inspire an online business idea? So it's listing it all out, right? Here's all the things that I could potentially do based on what I fed it. And we just continue to drill this down further and further. Here's the next prompt right from this blueprint here that you are going to have. Ask me questions, skills, list out my skills, professional and personal. Do this in the exact order. So it's asking me about my personal interests and skills, asking questions on the professional side, and then communication and interpersonal, personal skills and interests. I answered them all right here. These are all of my answers. Do you see how much time I took to do this? And again, I'm simply just using the Google document. So I would copy and paste and answer all the questions, or I would list them out here, copy and paste copy the answers and paste them right in here so that you're not doing it inside of ChatGPT. Do it on the Google Doc. It's going to be much easier for you because this is kind of wonky, ChatGPT. Like when you hit enter, it doesn't go to another line. It actually prompts ChatGPT to do its thing. So now I have all of my professional skills listed here and my personal skills and interests. Okay. Giving it, this is all me too. Like I'm just answering the questions and giving it as much information as possible so that the brainstorm piece of this works. All right. And then I do the same thing. I take this entire section and I copy and paste it and I put it into my document here, my running document, so that I have this. This thing will be a lot of pages when you're done. All right. Next prompt is based on the skills. You can see it right here. Based on the skills we've identified, what are some online businesses that I could explore? Okay. This is where it gets kind of fun. Online training and coaching platform for sales professionals. Like I wish I would have had this 5 years ago and I would have done that, or 10 to 15 years ago. And I could have really gotten into this. Industrial equipment market. I don't really like that. Virtual consulting for, I'm not interested in that, right? Real estate, of course, real estate. That's what I ended up starting. Sports and wellness, stock market trading tips. I've done that. No, thanks. Corporate event and retreat planning. Like it'll come up with some pretty off the wall ideas, but based on what I'm giving it, like it's kind of going towards this online training and coaching platform. And then I go, okay, I'm interested. Now we're at this one. I'm interested in list your interest. I'm interested in helping and teaching people and public speaking. Ask me targeted questions about my interest to help identify specific online business ideas. I put that in there. Same thing. It asks me all the questions. I copy and paste to the Google Doc. I answer them. I paste them here, detailed. And then it says to me, okay, based on your interests and experiences, here are some specific online business ideas you could explore. Online leader, it's getting more detailed, more drilled in. Online lead, because we're finding the intersection of what I know how to do, what I'm good at, what I'm interested in, and what my skills are. Like I'm feeding it all this data, and it's giving me better ideas. Online Leadership and Sales Academy. I like that. Mentoring and coaching service. I obviously like that as well. I am a coach. Virtual sales training, leadership speaker series. There's a lot of different YouTube channel for career development, right? That's something I could do. I have a YouTube channel. So it's really kind of, again, I was a sales guy. So I'm putting in everything that Brian O'Neill did. All right. So these are my answers. These are my real answers. Given my list of skills and interests, what are some unique online business ideas that merge these aspects? So again, we're merging the skill set and the interests. Okay. Now we start to get stuff that really could potentially light us up. Leadership development through sports. I love sports. Virtual reality, VR sales training. It came back to that multiple times. Family-oriented personal development, online community for disabled families, stock market, sales and leadership podcast. So I have a podcast already, the W2 Prison Break Show. I don't talk about sales, but I talk about leadership, and I talk about this type of stuff, getting you out of your job, building businesses. So it's tracking, right? Then I just say, here's the prompt. Let's explore the idea of one of the brainstormed ideas. Just say number 7, sales and leadership podcast. What would be the first steps to validate the market demand for this business? It tells me what to do. Market research, right? Listen to existing podcasts, identify your unique angle. And then you can go in here and ask it to give you more information in terms of how to do that. Like, give me more ideas on market research. Give me more ideas on audience identification. Again, you want to save this because you'll refer back to it later. Audience identification and engagement. Define your target audience. That's going to be key. You can simply ask it, help me define my target audience. Content sampling. It's got all this stuff in here that you would go through. Now, I don't want you to go down rabbit holes. I just want you to go through these prompts, and then you can go back later and look at it. Guide me on how to do basic market research for this business idea. And we help you with market research in the community, guys, but I just want to get you thinking about this. So identifying competitors, it tells you how to do it. Audience research, social media, surveys and polls. I can't tell you how many surveys and polls that I do. You've likely taken one of my surveys and or polls. If you're following me on social media or even inside this group, there's a survey. Keyword research, huge. feedback from existing networks, SWOT analysis, test marketing. You do a pilot episode. I mean, MVP, minimum viable product, all that stuff is really important. The next prompt, considering market potential, personal interest, profitability, and profitability is key, and my skills, which business idea should I prioritize and why? So this is really the money prompt, if you will, right? You're asking ChatGPT like, hey, I've got all these options here. I don't know what to pick. Help me pick. Given your extensive experience in sales and leadership, your interest in teaching and helping others, and your proven skills in communication and public speaking, the Online Leadership and Sales Academy, not the podcast, seems like the most promising business to prioritize, and here's why. Then it tells you why. Growing demand for online learning, facts, niche market, targeting young professionals, personal interest. I have a passion for teaching and mentoring. I have a personal interest in engagement with content, profitability. It is a scalable business model. Totally. Then this could be the back end business of my podcast if I chose to do this, right? Like we have somebody that's in our group that is building a back end sales and leadership business, a sales and leadership coaching training business using his podcast as the lead magnet. This aligns with my skills. And then strategy, right? So it's long-term impact. It just gives you all the reason. So then I would just simply say, what are the next immediate steps I should take to start planning my online business around the Online Leadership and Sales Academy? Business planning, market research, curriculum. I don't want you to go through this. I just want you to look at it because, again, the roadmap is going to talk to you about this in detail. So you could really kind of stop there. But if you didn't do, if you were just taking this workshop and you didn't go through the roadmap course, then you could just use this thread and continue to ask it things like, help. I don't like the name. Help me with a name. What would be an offer that I could help me write an offer? Like help me write landing pages. I mean, you could welcome sequence. It's endless here. Help me define my target audience, right? Ask me questions. So there's so much that you can do here once you get this dialed in. That is going to take you, again, about 15 to 20 minutes. Make sure that you are copying and pasting everything into your working document here so that you have it all in here. And then again, save this. You won't ever delete it out of ChatGPT, but you will permanently have it. All right, let's go back to the keynote here, the presentation. I keep saying that is a keynote, right? So we've already gone through this. Let's wrap up here, guys. You've stuck with me for a long time. Here's the summary. Here's your action items. What I want you to do next. Book your business selection guidance call with me. Do this exercise first. The ChatGPT exercise. Bring that to the call. Send it to me ahead of time. You're going to get emails from me. Send it to me ahead of time so I can look at it and we can talk about what the business idea you came up with, ChatGPT came up with. Maybe it's a couple and you need some help. Go through week 1 of the W2 Prison Break Roadmap 2.0. It's available now. Go through it. Take the action items in each lesson, okay? Make your intro post. In the welcome video, I told you about making the introduction post, and there's a template to follow, so go ahead and do that so you can earn points and level up in the community and get more stuff. Show up to the weekly call. It's in the calendar. Add it to your calendar so that you don't miss it. You have an opportunity to bring your questions to those calls and get live feedback. Take action. We learn by doing, not consuming. While you're taking these courses and taking these lessons, that's great, but you got to do the work. Like this is completely a waste of your time if you don't do the ChatGPT exercise. So block the time out in your calendar, no distractions, and get it done. And then book the call with me so that we can work through it. These are small steps that we're going to just continue to take to bust through that brick wall that's in front of you right now. And we're going to decide on the best business for you. I always end with a quote. This is one of my favorite ones by Winston Churchill. Never, never, never give up. You can't lose if you don't quit, right? This is one of the most famous quotes around. Never give up. If you don't give up, you can't fail, right? You can't. And eventually you will get to where you're trying to go once you define where it is that you're trying to go if you don't give up. Remember, stay the course. All right. Great job sticking with me. Do the work. You got this. I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.